wide to the right. He's a junior out of Hillcrest High School. Thornton goes in motion. They'll give it to Thornton on the wide receiver around. He was going to take the handoff and try to sweep the right side, but the play has been blown dead by a penalty flag, and it's going to be illegal motion called against Baker, I believe. Michael Odom and Jay Helwig are the defensive ends, the standing ends, if you will. Ryan Helton and Kyle Curry are the tackles. John Oglesby, the nose guard. Keith Bearfield and coaching staff make some changes on the defensive side of the ball. Sam Dollar and Harvey Berry in the linebackers. Troy Clayton and Marlon Coley on the corners. Anthony Dixon and Derek McBride are the safeties. On second down at 13, Tarango to pass. He'll swing the ball out, throw it behind the line of scrimmage to his wide receiver, who makes the catch. And Scott Schoenberg catches his 22nd pass of the year. He'll take it out over the 30 to the 34-yard line, where he is going to be close to the 35 and be about 5 yards short of the first down. So it'll be third down and 5 with 12:48 to go in the first quarter here at the Plaster Sports Complex. 72 degrees, a wind from the west at 10 miles an hour as we get the game underway this afternoon. Otherwise known as a beautiful fall afternoon here in the Ozarks. On third and 5, Tarango, the only man in the backfield as they send everybody out of the pass play. The Crusaders blitz. Tarango's going to run. He's got the first down at the 40, 45, 50 into Crusader territory at the 40, where he is tripped up at the 39-yard line. Morris Cannon ends up making the stop for the Crusaders defensively, and Sean Tarango with a gain of 26 yards on the play.
And that's what happens when you blitz. Like you said, they let everyone out of the backfield, and then we sent a linebacker, and there was no one there to spy on the quarterback, so to speak, no one in the middle of the field. After the rush gets by him and he gets down to the middle of the field, there's just open room in the secondary, and he takes it for 26-yard gain.
Joel Thornton goes split wide right. Schoenberg comes split to the left. They have a man in the slot. And once again, Thornton in motion. He'll take the handoff as he sweeps the near side. He gets outside at the 35, down at the 34, where he's run out of bounds by Anthony Dixon, the Crusaders' sophomore safety. It's still going to be a gain of close to 5 yards. They're giving him probably a little better spot, at least the man in the middle of the field is going to give him a little better spot than it appeared that he stepped out of bounds. They spot him down at the 33-yard line, which will be a gain of 6, second down and 4. Evangel number 20 this week in the national poll. Baker is number 4. Valley's playing Benedictine. Valley number 8 after their win over Evangel last week. And Benedictine is in the top 25. They're number 24 in the country this week. Out of the shotgun, Tarango to throw. The quick look into Schoenberg, and it's off his hands. Sam Dollar had a chance to intercept, and his dive comes up a bit short.
Like I said, the ball really hit him in the hands. He had a chance to catch it, the receiver, that is. Tipped off his hands. Dollar tried to dive and make the catch. Wasn't quite able to get there. But see, Baker's still in a good situation where it's a 3rd and 4 situation after the big first down that they had where they gained 6 yards.
12 minutes and 6 seconds to go in the first quarter here at the Plaster Sports Complex. Jeff Sims goes split wide to the right for Baker. Out of the I formation, now they send the down-the-line option. He's at the 30-yard line. He'll be a yard of the first down. So the Crusaders doing a good job defensively. Ryan Helton was trying to catch him from behind but couldn't do it, and eventually he was able to get a couple of yards down to the 30. Give him 3, and it'll bring up 4th down and 1.
Like I said, Hilton really couldn't catch him from the backside, but that enabled him not the ability to cut back. So he couldn't cut against the grain, and that's a play that hurt the Crusaders last week against Missouri Valley. The option play, quarterback keep it, did a lot of damage against the Crusaders.
Well, the Crusaders are going to face a 4th and 1 defensively as Tarango comes to the line out of the I formation. A man comes in motion to the near side. On the handoff, the ball is loose. Baker's going to recover, but the play is going to be stopped on the 30-yard line, and Evangel is held.
And that's a big-time stop for the Crusaders. Hopefully that can give them a big momentum lift. Not only do they stop them on 4th down and kill the drive, it gives the offense a pretty good field position to try to get things going. Let's see if the offense can do something now.
So So the offense takes over on the 30-yard line, 1st and 10. Eric Black, the 6'5", 235-pound freshman quarterback. Black out of Jacksonville, Florida, sends Brandon Schmidley, freshman out of Mount Vernon, wide to the left. Pat Turner goes wide to the right. And they're going to put Warren Honore on the wing to the left side. Hand off to Stacy Reardon. Reardon dances ahead to the 32, possibly the 33-yard line before he gets nailed defensively by Brian Boyle, the left defensive end. So it'll be a gain of 2, 2nd down and 8. John Walkup and Alex Bryant, pair of 300-pound tackles. Ken Holmes and Dustin Kennard at 290 and 322 of the guards. Shad McGuire, a senior out of Glendale High School here in Springfield, is the center. Schmidley and Turner, the wide receivers, both to the right side. Evangel going left to right. Honore in the slot. The toss to Marlon Coley. Coley tries to get to the outside, does so at the 35, 40-yard line, and may have the first down, and we're going to get penalty flags thrown all over the place. On the tail end of the play is Robert Villafranca, the free safety, shoved Coley into the bench after he was out of bounds. Coley, that shoved him into the players that were on the sideline.
And Coley really made a nice move on the outside that time. As he bounced to the outside, there was a defender who had the angle on him. Looked like he was going to catch him for a short gain. Coley gave him a nice hesitation move, stopped for a second, didn't win again. The guy lost all his angle. He got to the outside, got 10 yards plus the penalty. Looks like it's going to be a 15-yarder tacked on.
So it will be unsportsmanlike conduct, personal foul, if you will, against Baker. So the ball goes into Baker territory at the 45-yard line. Marlon Coley, you think of him as being a defensive back. He's going to start on defense, but he's also going to get some time at the tailback spot. And he has already paid some dividends here this afternoon, having gained 10 yards. Reardon in the slot. Black with a 2-step drop, swings down to Pat Turner, and we're going to get a fumble on the play. It's picked up by Baker. It's picked up by Marlon Graves, the senior out of Central High School here in Springfield. I have a feeling they were going to throw a penalty flag on the play until they saw the ball pop free. And there was going to be a clip along the far side anyway, so the Crusaders had that play in trouble from the word go, and the worst comes to pass as the Crusaders turn it over. Evangel so far this year, coming into the ball game, is +4 in the turnover department, in that they've forced 4 more turnovers than had their opposition. Now that's down to +3, and Baker has the ball on the Evangel 39-yard line. 10:22 to go in the first quarter. Man comes in motion out of the backfield. And Tarango with a pass there, looking for a man downfield as they throw the ball deep. Derek McBride at the goal line knocks the pass away, and we're going to get a flag thrown on the play.
I would assume this is probably going to be offensive pass interference. Looked like the receiver tried to go through Derek McBride that time to make the catch, and the Crusaders just had that well defended. They tried the little split-in pass, the double pass, but the Crusader secondary wasn't fooled at all, had everybody covered.
Well, Tim Herbst, the wide receiver, was going to throw the football, and throw it downfield he did, and Derek McBride had the best shot at the ball. And never could see who the player was who was trying to catch it, who ended up climbing on Derek McBride's back.
And all too often on this level, we don't see that called enough, I think. And, you know, many times where the defense has a good shot at the football and the offensive man will hit him early, and if he was playing defense, they would call that penalty, but since he's offensive man, a lot of times they don't. This time they make the correct call.
They're going to give him a 15-yarder, so it'll be first down at 25. 10:15 to go, first quarter. No score. The ball goes back into Baker territory. And now they're saying, wait a minute, 15 yards from where you marked it off wasn't the 48, it's the 46.
It's still not conducive with where the chains are at in the original line of scrimmage, but...
First and 25, Tarango with a man on the wing on the left side. Wide receiver to the right, the handoff to Jason White, and White is going to get hit at the line of scrimmage. Slowed up enough to allow Kyle Curry and John Oglesby to be able to get there and wrap him up. And Where White got tossed on his back and where they're spotting the football are two different places. He's going to get 2 yards further upfield. I guess he had progress.
Is that what you call it? Progress. I didn't see that. But that was good penetration by the defensive line that time, the Crusaders into the backfield. That's something that they got to do all day if they want to be effective, to get those middlemen into the backfield of Baker.
Twins to the near side. Jeff Sims is one of those receivers. White goes in motion. Nobody in the backfield to help block. Tarango throws out of the shotgun, and he fires. The catch is made by Schoenberg at the 45. He drags a couple of defenders inside the 35 down to the 32-yard line. The pass was rushed because Jay Helwig got in and put pressure on Sean Tarango. The ball was thrown behind the receiver, but he was able to make the catch and then get extra yardage down to the 32, and that play is good for 21 yards and a first down.
He wasn't even the open receiver that time that Tarango threw to. He was pretty well covered, but the Crusaders couldn't bring him down at the point that he caught the ball. And like you said, he just dragged his man down on into Crusader territory for a 21-yard gain.
Baker gains over 440 yards in total offense a game, 262 on the ground and 179 through the air. And the way they've thrown the ball today, you can understand why. Man goes in motion out of the backfield, so they have 4 men out of the pass pattern. Tarango is blitzed by Helwig, and down he goes, back at the 40-yard line. That's going to be a loss of 8 yards on the play, and bring up 4th down and 12. So once again, Baker will have to give the ball up, and it looks like it's going to be in the form of a Chad Robinson punt.
And that's kind of the way Crusaders are going to have to play things today. Baker is probably going to have some success moving the ball, but you have to come to a point where you stop them before they can get in the end zone. Another big play by the defense there holds for the Crusaders.
Troy Clayton and Stacy Reardon back to receive the punt. Robinson averages 36.2 yards a kick, and he'll kick it away from Clayton. It'll bounce the 15 inside the 10 and out of bounds right at the 10-yard line. So Evangel has very, very poor field position. That kick good for 30 yards. 7:48 to go in quarter number 1. We're scoreless, and each ball club has turned it over. One time, Baker turned it over on downs, and then Evangel, after advancing into Baker territory, turned it over on a fumble. So Eric Black will have Reardon, and running behind him, he'll put Honore on the wing to the near side with Turner and Schmidley split wide to the right. Blake bunting the tight end in, tight to the left, hand off Stacy Reardon straight ahead, out over the 10, spins the 15, and he is out to the 17-yard line. So Stacy Reardon with a nice path to run through.
He's got that nice motion that you like to see with our tailback as he hits the line of scrimmage, gets hit, and he makes that nice spin move into the secondary. Ball scored, always getting positive yardage. You have to like that carry that time with Stacy Reardon.
Reardon is the Crusaders' leading rusher with 271 yards, averaging, though, only 45 yards a game in rushing. He scored 3 touchdowns. Marlon Coley in the game now, lines up in the slot, trips to the wide side of the field. Baker jumps all over the place. Black goes ahead and runs forward. The ball is dropped, and the play is blown dead. One thing about it, in years gone by, Baker has been a more physical team than the Crusaders. And in a guy like Eric Black, though, who's used to playing outside linebacker the 1 year that he was at Florida State, I don't think that these guys are going to intimidate him.
No, he shouldn't be the guy that they can intimidate, that's for sure. Should be a guy that can sit in the pocket, take the shots enough. You know, as much as they're going to try and intimidate him, hit him late, like they're coming in after the offside penalty, trying to bump him around. He's just not going to take it, not going to let it bother him.
The offside penalty is good for 5 yards and a first down for Evangel to the 23-yard line.
Baker's already been penalized today 4 times for 40 yards. Crusaders have not had a flag thrown against them yet.
John Dollar is in the game. He's going to come split wide to the right. Turner and Schmidley go wide left. Out of the I formation, Marlon Coley on the tail of the tandem. Honore, the fullback. The handoff, no, it's a play-action fake. A flag is down. Black will throw. Schmidley will catch at the 32-yard line. He'll break a tackle and get out over the 35 to the 36-yard line. That'll be good for a first down, pending the outcome of the penalty flags. And I have a feeling it may be brought back the way the flags have been thrown. They're right at the line of scrimmage, which usually means some kind of motion penalty against Evangel. So the play is going to be brought back. Already Marlon Coley has made a difference running the football for the Crusaders. The penalty is illegal procedure. But even just the threat of him being back there, and we're talking about a 175-pound freshman. He runs with authority, and we'll probably see him on the offensive side of the ball more and more.
Well, I think that teams, when they see him come in, knowing he's playing defensive back, a starter, they think, well, he's putting him to the backfield, that he must be something special, so they're going to pay a little bit more attention to him, although he may not even have proven himself any.
Honore on the wing, the handoff to Coley. Coley at the 20-yard line breaks a tackle and gets out to the 22. Never did completely break it, but he got away enough to pick up a couple of extra yards. So the 5 yards that the Crusaders were penalized, they gained back on the first down running play, and it'll be second down and 10 yards to go.
So he does run hard. He was running so hard that time. As he got to the line, he was hit at the line of scrimmage and still kept busting through. Carried his man down for about 5-yard gain. And that's the kind of threat that the Crusaders are looking for. And really, the running game's been their Achilles heel all year long.
5 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the first quarter. Black will throw out of the shotgun with Honore and Reardon flanking him. He's going to roll to the left as he looks for Pat Turner. He finds Turner in the out pattern, and the ball goes right through his hands and incomplete at the 34-yard line. That would have been good for a first down, but Pat was unable to hang on to the football. This series has been dominated by Baker. Evangel is 1-5 against the Wildcats. In reality, they're 2-4. And who would forget anybody who was at Kennedy Stadium on the night of September 24th, 1988, when the Crusaders faced the semifinalists of the national playoffs of the year before and defeated them 31-3. And pretty much that was their Heart of America Conference debut, and they got everybody's attention when they hammered Baker that night. That game, of course, later went into the Baker column as a forfeit win. Black feeds it to Honore out of the wing on third down and 11. And Honore is going to take it out over the 30 to the 34-yard line. That play good for 12 yards and a first down.
Nice passing catch that time. As Black makes the throw to the outside, has to throw it around a defender, so it turns into a tough pass to catch for Honore, who catches it at his feet, makes the shoestring grab, and then bounces to the outside. And that's something that we really haven't seen a whole lot of from the Crusaders this year, throwing to the backs out of the backfield in a non-screen situation.
Schmidley and Turner wide to the left. Reardon is wide left. Turner is wide right. Black to throw. He's got Turner wide open at midfield. He makes the catch at the 45-yard line, and then he's dropped at that point. That'll be good for another first down. Pat Turner got into the middle of the field and was wide open, and Eric Black was able to find him, but a penalty flag has been thrown, and that pass play is going to be brought back because of a Crusader penalty. We are talking about the 2 wins that Evangel has on the field, the first one being in 88, 31-3. And the second one coming 2 years ago, here on October 24th, when the Crusaders threw the Hail Mary pass on the final play of the game to pull to within 1 at 42-41, and then they went for 2, with Derek Clark throwing the 2-point conversion pass to John Skeens coming out of the backfield. Skeens was double covered. Ball went through his hands. He caught it between his knees. What a game that was. 43-42 the last time Baker was here. The penalty, a big one. And it's going to make it first and 25. Back of the 18-yard line, Black throws the pass high into the air. It's out of bounds. He was looking for Pat Turner, and Turner was run out of bounds by the strong safety Larry Smith. Ball is on the 19-yard line. It'll be second and 25. 4 minutes and 59 seconds to go in the first quarter here at the Plaster Sports Complex.
And the Crusaders like to get something going where they're not playing in their own end of the field like they have so far the whole first quarter. It's just been all on the Crusaders side of the field.
They're going to open things up with Bunning and Turner wide right, Schmidley and Reardon wide left. And the handoff is to Warren Honore. Honore gets big yardage as he gets out over the 30 to the 35-yard line. He's going to get back the yardage that the Crusaders were penalized, +1, so it'll bring up 3rd down and 9. The Crusaders went with a draw play that time, and it was wide open as everybody was looking out of the wing for the pass. They were looking with 4 receivers out there, and the Crusaders were able to run the football. Jeremy Trastina comes into the ball game. Four minutes and 23 seconds to go. Black out of the shotgun with 4 men out of the pass pattern, and Honore in the slot. He'll serve as the safety valve man, and the ball is dropped by a wide open Warren Honore. And it'll bring up a punting situation. True, the pass was thrown a bit low, but he made that catch on the other side earlier.
Yeah, it is basically the exact same thing, except to the near side. Doesn't come up with the catch that time. And what's happening with that situation is Baker's playing their deep zone and just dropping so deep that you can lay it off to your running backs right out in the flat, and they have plenty of room to run. That time weren't able to connect, though, on the pass, and it's going to be 4th down.
4th down, and Matt Ragsdale will be in to kick it away. Matt averaging 37.1 yards per kick. He's punted 32 times for 1,186 yards. This being kick number 33, and it is a high, wobbly kick and a fair catch called for by Joel Thornton at the 27-yard line, and that's right on his average at 37 yards for the punt. So with 4 minutes and 7 seconds to go in quarter number 1, we are still scoreless here at SMS. Speaking of the Bears, they're on the road this afternoon, getting set for a 2 o'clock start against Indiana State. And who would have thought in October that the Bears would be looking for the first win, but they are. First down and 10 from the 27-yard line. Tarango with his tight end in motion. The handoff to Jason White, and White gets stacked up the 30-yard line. It'll be a gain of a couple of yards. Bring up 2nd down and 8. Jason White is their workhorse running back. He's carried 93 times for 600 yards, 607 yards, and 6 touchdowns coming in. But he is not their main scorer on the ground. Jeremy Samples with only 27 carries, but he scored 7 touchdowns. That tells you when they get in close who they give it to.
Well, he's 5'11", 245. His load is hard to stop near the goal line.
I haven't really seen him much today, and that's because they use him in the short yardage situations. White is going to go in motion. And Tarango is back there by himself. He'll fire the ball out. It is tipped and intercepted by Anthony Dixon. Ari Berrien tipped the football, and it was picked off by a diving Anthony Dixon. So the Crusaders come up with a turnover at the 48-yard line.
Now, earlier in the game, they ran that same pattern, and the tight end was wide open. I don't know if they called the coaching staff down the field or not, told the quarterback to look for it. That time he looks for it. He's not open. Berrien has him covered, and that's only the 3rd interception that Tarango has thrown all year. He has 8 touchdown passes, only 3 interceptions. He doesn't throw the ball into coverage that often.
And that time, I'm not sure that he did. I prefer to think of that as a pretty good play defensively by Berrien to tip it, and then by Dixon to intercept. 48-yard line, 1st and 10, 4 men out of the pass pattern, 2 to each side. David Baker in the backfield as Black throws out of the shotgun. Eric looks to throw. He's waving a man deep. Now he rolls. He looks. He is going to tuck it and run, and he gets hit at the 45-yard line, falls forward to the 44. That'll be a gain of 4, 2nd down and 6. So the Baker secondary doing an outstanding job covering the receivers. They had 4 men out of the pass pattern, and Eric could not find anybody.
Again, they wanted to throw to the running back out of the backfield, David Baker, that time. Baker switched up coverages that time, had the running back covered in the flat, and of course Black forced a scramble, gets positive yardage, and that's a dimension of Eric Black that you have to like. When something's not going well, people are covered, probably the coaching staff would like to see him do more, tuck it under and run.
So with 2:38 to go, as the Crusaders come to the line of scrimmage, they're forced to burn a timeout. We have 2:38 to go, first quarter, no score. We'll return in 60 seconds.
Faculty and staff representing Central Bible College Baptist Bible College, and the Assemblies of God Theological Seminary at today's game. Thank you for supporting the Crusaders. We hope you enjoy today's game.
He'll fire and throw the ball out of bounds. In reality, that time, nobody bought the fake because everybody came over. As soon as Black faked and started to roll to this side, he had a man right in his face. On the defensive side of the ball, he had one of the linebackers, one of the tackles in his face, and Honore was going around the other side.
And that time he made the wise move by getting rid of the football. Before in earlier games, we've seen him take the loss, trying to make something happen. There he seen nothing was going to happen. Let's just get rid of it, reset, and get a new start.
So that time what we're saying is Baker had the play well diagnosed. They knew what was going to be coming in that situation. Black out of the shotgun, rolls to his left, fires, and hits Matt Turner at the 30-yard line. And Turner steps out of bounds as he was coming back at the 32. That's good for a first down. 2:28 to go in the first quarter. Evangel going from left to right. So they have the breeze, what breeze there is, at their back. We said wind was 10 miles an hour out of the west at the start of the ball game. On 1st and 10 from the 32, Turner goes wide left. Schmidley wide right. Coley lines up in the slot. Honore the lone setback. Bunting the tight end in tight to the left side. They'll give it on the shovel pass to Marlon Coley at the 30. Slips a tackle at the 25. Dives to the 20-yard line and has a Crusader first down. Technically, that's going to be a pass play because it was the shovel pass.
A little shovel pass, and again, just something to try to get Marlon Coley involved in the offense. That time they bring him from the slot for the shovel pass, and he just runs by defenders in that situation. People are just like they were standing still as he's running by him. He gets 12 quick yards and another Crusader first down.
A reminder, you're listening to Evangel College Football on KADI Republic Springfield. Dave Wilkie, our studio engineer. I'm Rob Evans with Darren Cates at the Plaster Sports Complex. Evangel with the ball 1st and 10 of the 20-yard line. Honore in the slot, the toss on the sweep to Coley. Coley cuts up field at the 10. Coley breaks the tackle, gets inside the 10, down to the 7-yard line, and again another first down for the Crusaders.
Again, nice carry by Coley. What the Crusaders also like in this situation of having Coley in the backfield is this also puts Warren Honore back into a position he was more accustomed to last year in the fullback spot. And that time he gets a great block on the outside, which springs Coley and gets him 13 quick yards. He gets 13 yards in a hurry, Coley does.
I have a feeling you might see, if you're trying to compare people to the past, with Honore running out of the fullback spot, Coley running out of the tailback spot, that'll allow Stacy Reardon to fill the Gavin Jones role. And Coley on the toss sweep picks up a nice block from Honore and gets out of bounds at the 5-yard line. And Honore threw an outstanding block to spring Coley. If Honore doesn't throw that block, Coley doesn't come close to getting the yardage that he got.
And again, that's a position that Honore's more accustomed to. He did it so well, probably so unheralded last year for Derek Clark, the man now playing for the Denver Broncos. And this gets him back into that position, something he's more comfortable with, and he does a great job of it.
And he also has been springing the runners and helping spring them for big gains. Now Reardon is going to come into the ball game and line up in the slot to the right. 3 men out of the pass pattern. Turner and Reardon wide right. Baker jumps defensively. Hand off to Honore. Straight ahead. Touchdown, Warren Honore.
Well, we've been talking about the good job that he's been doing throwing blocks. This time they decided to reward him by giving him the ball on the carry. And he shoots through the line very quickly. Gets into the end zone almost untouched. Great job by the offensive line, that time opening up a big hole. And what the Crusaders did on that drive after the interception, just kept things very well balanced. Threw some passes in, threw some running in, at good times, kept the Baker defense guessing.
Eric Apgar in to attempt the extra point. He's 15 out of 18 this year. Out of the Brian McNabb hold. Snap back, the ball is down. The kick is on the ground, and it is good. 1:48 to go in the first quarter. 7-0 Evangel. Back with a kickoff in 30 seconds. Rob Evans, Darren Cates back at the Blaster Sports Complex. Evangel jumps on top on Warren Honore's 5-yard run. Eric Apgar adding the extra point kick. So the Crusaders jump on top, 7-0 with 1:48 to go here in the first quarter.
First time the Crusaders have been on top in a game since October 1st when they were at Benedictine. The last 2 weeks have not started out this well for the Crusaders.
Apgar sends it high, sends it deep inside the 5, and it is going to be taken by Robert Wiseman, and Wiseman is going to get out to the 20. A flag is thrown. He stumbles out to the 24-yard line. They'll spot him out of the 23, but let's see what the penalty flag is all about. And Wiseman stepped in front of the speedster, Joel Thornton, to take that kickoff. I'm not sure that the coaching staff is going to be that pleased with his decision there. And add to that the fact that the Wildcats are going to be called for an illegal block. So the Wildcats are going to start off in poor field position with 1:41 to go in quarter number 1, down 7-0. Baker is not really, I don't believe they've been behind in a game since the first game they played against Iowa Wesleyan. They lost that one 20-12. And you take a look at the comparisons in terms of offense and defense. Evangel rushes for 125 yards a game. Baker 262. Evangel throws for 200 yards. Baker for 179. And the Wildcats are averaging 40 points a game to Evangel's 27.
Their ability to get the ball in the end zone has been a key factor for them in all their games this year.
They've scored 40 points or more in every game except one, and that was the first. Tarango with a toss on the sweep to Jason White. He'll break a tackle as he gets out over the 10 to the 15-yard line, maybe the 16. He was hit behind the line of scrimmage, but was able to get away and get to the 16-yard line. So that'll be a gain of 4 yards on the play, 2nd down and 6 with 1:20 to go. The line of scrimmage, the 12-yard line. Baker bringing in 3 new players on this particular play. So Charlie Richard, remember when we first joined the conference, these guys were more of a line it up, double tight, run the football. Shows you how times have changed. Tarango sends a man in motion, back to pass. Now he slips the ball to White on the draw play, and White's going to get hit at the line by Michael Odom. John Oglesby is also there, and it'll be no gain. If there was any gain at all, it'll be less than a yard. It'll bring up 3rd down and 6.
And again, that time the Crusaders stopped because they had that interior defense making penetration into the backfield of Baker's and doesn't allow Baker's running backs to get any kind of momentum going towards the line of scrimmage.
Under 30 seconds to go now in quarter number 1. Evangel leading at 7-0. The play clock at 14 seconds. So this will be the final play as Thornton comes wide to the left, and Tarango is going to throw out of the shotgun. He'll send one of his running backs. That's Schoenberg, who is lined up as a running back. He's going to look long. Now they throw the ball short to Thornton, and the pass is incomplete. The wide receiver on a wheel pattern, Schoenberger, ran long and was open. When Tarango threw that pump fake in there, I thought he might be going deep. And had he chose to go deep, he might have had big yardage.
I think Tarango was really confused that time by the coverage. It looked like they came out and weren't doing what they had suspected they would do. And he basically just throws a bad pass to really no one there that time.
He was looking for Thornton, and there were two Crusaders closer to the ball. 4 seconds to go, and Robinson's going to kick. Inside the 5, he'll hit it from the 6. It's a high spiral. It's going to send Reardon back to the 40, and now Clayton steps in front of him, makes the catch, and gets to the 42-yard line. So both teams have had trouble with their receiving teams on kicks as Clayton and Reardon collide after a 43-yard punt, a 2-yard return, and that's the end of the first quarter. 7-0, Evangel with the lead. Back for the second quarter after this 60-second timeout on KADI.
Number 34, Warren Honorary on the carry. Stop made by number 14, Villa Fica.
On the first play of quarter number 2, Brian McNabb is the quarterback. On the shovel pass, Warren Honoré is going to get 4 yards. It'll bring up 2nd and 6 from the 46-yard line. For the man in the wing, that's Honoré. Coley, the lone setback. The handoff to Coley. It's in the air. It's recovered by Baker. And the fumble is recovered by Josh Saunders, one of the linebackers. And the second week in a row, this time it's a little earlier in the ballgame, but the missed handoff exchange between McNabb and one of the running backs. In this case, Marlon Coley comes up with a turnover, and it's going to put Baker in outstanding field position at the 36-yard line.
Again, you can look at that for a lot of different situations. McNabb maybe not getting a lot of snaps in practice, and probably not a whole lot with Coley, who's splitting time between the offense and the defense. Little miscommunication between the two of them, and now it's Baker's ball.
Jeff Sims goes split wide to the left. Out of a double tight set, they've got a man in the slot, and now Schoenberger is going to run from the fullback spot in motion. On the option pitch, Tarango back to White. White's got big yardage. He has a first down inside the 25, out of bounds to the 24-yard line. It wasn't all that pretty in terms of what you would consider the triple option, but he got the job done, and Jason White picks up big yardage.
Yeah, what they're trying to do on the triple option especially is get the ball to the pitch man as quickly as possible and get him to the outside. And the Crusaders have to be aware of that and be able to get to the outside and keep White bottled up.
That time he was able to get away for the first down, ball to the 24-yard line, so a gain of 12. And in motion from the slot, lone setback is White. They're going to give it to him in the toss sweep. White tries to get to the outside, cuts it upfield at the 25 and gets down to the 22 before being tackled. John Oglesby comes out of there. Sam Dollar was in on the play as well. Ryan Helton also there.
And the speed of the defense that time is what really strung that play out, as White looked like he had a space to run to the outside, but the Crusaders really just caught up to him before he could even get to the line of scrimmage and hold him for a short gain.
Second down and 8 out of the I formation. And they hand off to the fullback who just checks into the ball game. That's Scott No, a senior out of Butler, Missouri. No, not listed on their depth chart. But then again, we've learned not really to trust things like that in this conference. He is, however, one of their leading rushers, their 5th leading rusher, 79 yards and a couple of touchdowns this year on only 16 carries. He's going to get first down yardage on the 2nd down and 8 play. He picks up 9 yards. He gets down inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. So Baker with a first down and 10 at that point.
What they did that time was they ran a little veer dive option. When it gets the Crusader defense stringing to the outside, then they give back to the inside handoff where no one's there.
Travis Miller goes split wide to the left, the junior out of Hillcrest. With Tim Herbst going in motion, and they're going to hand the ball to Rob Winfrey. Winfrey, their fullback, rushed for 216 yards this year. He's going to get inside the 14 down to the 12-yard line. That's going to be a gain of a yard, yard and a half. We'll call it 2nd down and 8 and give him 2 on the play.
And Baker surprised me, has quite a few people from the Springfield area on their football team.
Well, they've got Marlon Graves, Jay Jones, who was a freshman from Kickapoo, Travis Miller, a junior from Hillcrest, and Adam Bryant, a freshman from Hillcrest, on their ball club this year. And that doesn't include a couple of others from the surrounding areas. Flag is thrown on 2nd down and 8 right as the Wildcats get to the line. The play clock was winding down. Have a couple of players in there from Buffalo. And a few others from this part of the country as well. Their recruiting arm reaches all the way to the state of California. So Charlie Richards' program, known in college football circles far and wide.
Yeah, he's always had a big contact out in California. He's got quite a few players from that area.
The penalty is going to make it 2nd down and 13. There's an offside penalty against the Wildcats. Out of the shotgun, the Crusaders sending somebody through, and they end up, Baker does, picking up the blitz. The pass from Tarango to Miller is good for the touchdown. So Baker picks up the blitz, and they have Miller wide open for the score. It's a touchdown pass that covers 17 yards.
Yeah, that time Tarango read the defense correctly that time. He had trouble before on earlier pass attempts. That time he reads the blitz, sees no one has the man to the outside, and just a little easy passing catch because there's no Crusader defender out there, and he waltzes into the end zone.
Chad Robinson in to attempt the extra point. He's 21 of 25 this year, so he's missed 4. Left-footed kicker sends it through the uprights, and with 11:51 to go in the first half, we're tied 7 apiece. So the Crusader turnover leads to a Baker touchdown. We'll be back with a kickoff in 30 seconds. One to go, first half, 7 apiece. We're tied up. Tarango throwing his 8th touchdown pass, making his 9th of the year. Chad Holt kicks it away. It's going to send Coley back into the end zone, and he won't even catch it. It'll bounce out of the end zone. And the Crusaders will take the ball to the 20-yard line. First down and 10 in a 7-7 game.
Well, both teams have capitalized on turnovers here in the early part of the game. Evangel capitalized on an interception, which gave him the ball on the Baker 48-yard line and drove in for a touchdown. And basically just about in the same spot, Baker recovers a fumble and takes the in-swing position in for a touchdown.
Well, Eric Black is back in the game now at the quarterback spot for the Crusaders. Game tied 7 apiece. Schmidley wide left, Turner wide right. Reardon's going to go out to the right with Turner. And line up in the slot. Honore will be the lone setback. Reardon comes in motion. And Black will turn and hand it off to Warren Honore, who does not get a whole lot. He'll get out to the 22-yard line before being driven back. Robert Villafranca ended up stripping the ball away from him, but play had already been blown dead at that point. Take a look at Baker's defense, and they don't really have a lot of size on the front line. In fact, in their two deep, their biggest man is 260 pounds. But they have got some speed in there, and they've got some big linebackers. Second down and 8. Black looks over the situation. Play clock down under 5 seconds, and he gets the play off. He's back to pass. He'll step up. He'll fire over the middle. The ball is tipped defensively and then caught by Brandon Schmidley at the 24-yard line. Never did see who tipped the football. I think it may have been Villafranca, the free safety. And Schmidley was there to make the catch and gain 13 yards on a first down.
And how many times have we seen that this year? A ball go off someone else, and Schmidley, just in the right place at the right time, comes down with the catch. Always seems to be around the ball, doesn't he?
Yep. And my cousin watched him play down in Mount Vernon for a number of years, and he goes, early in the year, he goes, when is he going to be starting for you guys? I said, very soon. Throw to Marlon Coley. A flag is thrown on the tail end of the play as Coley gets out to the 40-yard line. He caught the ball behind the line of scrimmage. Probably would have been considered a lateral had it not been caught. But Coley is able to pick up 5 yards to the 40, and it is going to be an illegal use of the hands penalty. Or an illegal block, whatever you want to call it. It's a penalty, and it's going to take away the play. Now, he was asking, having seen Schmidley, and not really knowing that much about the Crusaders' receiving situation. He just said, I know what he is capable of doing, and he's going to be playing very soon. And of course, he's been in there since day one.
And he's not a player that has a lot of flashy speed, a lot of flashy moves. But again, like we said, he's always around the ball, runs his patterns correctly, and just catches just about everything that comes within a 4-yard radius of him.
The 15-yard penalty is going to make it 1st and 19. Black under center, ball on the 26-yard line. The toss to Marlon Coley on the sweep. Coley picks up some yardage and slips a tackle at the 30-yard line, gets out to the 32. Never did completely slip away, but he was able to make the defender who had a clear shot at him not get that clear shot. And he ends up picking up some extra yardage, a couple of extra yards on the play. He gets back 7. So it's the 2nd down and 12.
When he's running, it just looks like, because he gets going to full speed so quickly, it just looks like that he can go all the way at any time.
This time, Reardon in the slot, Honore the lone setback from the 32-yard line. Black back to pass. He tried to get Honore to move into position, and then he snapped the ball before Honore got set, and that's going to take a 15-yard pass play off the books. That's why I didn't describe the play, because it's coming back. It was a wide open pass to Pat Turner.
I don't agree with that call, though. Honore's in the backfield. As long as he's not moving forward, he can be in motion.
But he wasn't set, and he was trying to get set.
I still think, like I said, as long as he's not going forward, he can be moving backwards, he can be moving laterally, just as long as he's not going forward at the time of the play.
It's one of those plays, Darren, that he is trying to get set, and Eric moved him and then turned around and snapped the ball. He did not give him a chance to get set, and that's one of those things that I'm sure they'll talk with a young quarterback about. If you're going to move somebody, let him get set for a full count before you snap the football. And that particular play cost the Crusaders 5 yards. Actually cost them more than that. Cost them 20 yards because they had gained 15 on the play. 2nd and 17 from the 27. Black out of the shotgun. He's allowing the rush to get in on him. Flips the screen to Honore, who breaks a tackle. Gets to the outside at the 35. He's out at the 37. A flag is thrown into the Crusader bench. And that may be a personal foul called against Baker for tackling the man after he was already out of bounds. It's a personal foul against Baker. So you take the play, which ended up gaining close to 7 or 8 yards, and then you tack on the penalty yardage on top of that, and you're going to get the Crusaders out of a big hole as the ball is going to go into Baker territory at the 48-yard line. So a very costly penalty for the Wildcats. And that's the second time that's happened to Baker today.
And that's part of the Baker mystique. They like to play so physical and everything, and it's going to cost them some penalties down the line. That's the second time we've seen him hit a Crusader ball carrier when he's been out of bounds.
One thing that I do like, though, is the Crusader response, or should I say the fact that the Crusaders have not responded today.
Yes.
That's a very good sign. Black on first down, hands it to Reardon. Reardon gets to the outside, spins to the 45, and gets wrapped up. He was out there, didn't have a whole lot of support with him, and was running into some guys who are much bigger than he is. Josh Saunders, 246 pounds, almost 100 pounds bigger than Reardon, wraps him up and throws him down at the 46, so it'll be a gain of 2 yards, 2nd and 8. 8:25 to go in the first half here at the Plaster Sports Complex. Schmidley, Turner, and Baker all go split wide to the right. Honore the lone set back. The tight end, Robbie Hurd, in tight to the left side. So look for him coming across the middle. Black finds him open, but he elects to throw to another receiver. The catch is made. A flag is thrown. And it's Brandon Schmidley who makes the catch. It's going to be a gain of 8 yards. They put him right at the first down marker, but let's wait and see what the flag is about. An illegal block against Evangel. We're looking for the tight end simply because on that situation, he's usually going to be open coming across the middle, and sure as clockwork, Robbie Hurd just drifted right out of the middle of the field and was wide open. However, Brandon Schmidley coming back was open as well, and Black shifted his attention and picked him up.
The problem with that situation with looking for Hurd, like I said, he was open, but he also kept running. So he ran out of his open area, and if Black was going to throw the ball, he would have ran into a defender. So he elects not to throw the ball to him, throws to Schmidley. It's all going to be for naught anyway, as the Crusaders are called for an illegal block.
And it'll bring up 2nd down and 18 with exactly 8 minutes to go in the first half, and the ball back on the Evangel 42-yard line. So this time, we'll see what they do as Hurt comes out of the lineup. Turner and Schmidley come wide to the left with John Dollar going split to the right. Out of the I formation, Reardon on the tail of the tandem. The turn of the give to Stacy Reardon. Reardon gets hit at the line of scrimmage, and Baxley's hit back behind the line and goes down. So, instead of looking at 2nd and long, you're now looking at 3rd and long. 3rd and 20.
And they've had 2 first downs on this drive wiped away by penalties. And unofficially, so far here in the first half, they have had 5 penalties, the Crusaders have, for 55 yards. Baker's been penalized 7 times for 70 yards. So it's been kind of penalty plagued here in the early going.
Yeah, but probably 45 of those yards and penalties for Baker have been the personal foul variety. Black with a play-action fake. Doesn't fool many people. He's got a man open. That's Schmidley. And the ball is caught by Brandon at the 18-yard line. He gets down to the 14. What a catch by Brandon Schmidley. Black floated the ball up there. He had his man deep. And Brandon had to wait for the ball to come to him. It's a catch of 45 yards. And Black took a hit because the play-action fake didn't fool the defensive end for Baker.
No, it didn't fool the defensive end, but it fooled the free safety. He started going that way, which gave Schmidley just enough room and Black to throw the ball to him down the middle of the field. There was no free safety there. Had everyone beat. And, of course, it's a 45-yard gain after that.
So the Crusaders with the ball on the 14-yard line, 1st down and 10. The pitch on the shovel pass to Reardon. Reardon inside the 10, at the 5. Touchdown, Stacy Reardon.
Beautiful touchdown time by Stacy Reardon as he got the shovel pass. Usually you see backs try to bounce to the outside. That time he reads his block perfectly, bounces back to the inside, cuts back against the grain, gets hit at the 3-yard line, does his spin as he always does, and falls into the end zone. Touchdown. The Crusaders looked very good that time on the last few plays of that offensive possession.
That's going to be a 14-yard touchdown pass from Black to Reardon. So Evangel on top, 13-7. Apgar to add the extra point. Snap back. The ball is down. The kick is on the way, and it's no good. It's wide. to the left. So with 6:23 to go in the first half, the Crusaders lead 13-7. Back with a kick in 30 seconds.
Get the feeling that both teams may put some points on the board, and it could be a close one down to the end, and every point's going to count. Just hope this one doesn't come back to haunt the Crusaders.
So Evangel set to kick the football away. The kick is going to be a high kick, and it will be taken by Thornton at the 5-yard line, ahead of the 10, 15, to the 20, down the far side at the hash mark to the 30, 35, 40, 50, into Crusader territory. At the 40-yard line, a flag is thrown, a face mask will be called. And Thornton got to the picket fence down the hash mark and exploded through the hole. And the only way the Crusaders could bring him down was to grab him by the cage.
The problem is Thornton is only 5'4". He's very difficult to see behind that wall. They get that wedge going. You can't see it until he's through it, and then once he's through it, it's too late. He's so quick, he's by you in a second.
A face mask, we'll see. It's going to be the big face mask penalty. So, in other words, it was premeditated. It's not the inadvertent one. So, you put the ball down on the 24-yard line. So, basically, the kickoff return is good for 65 yards, thereabouts. And you put Baker right back in business. And the Wildcats are down by 6. Schoenberger goes in motion. Tarango to pass. The blitz is on. Down goes. Harvey Berrien gets there first. And Jay Hellway finishes him off. That pass play is going to result, or the sack is going to result in a loss back to the 31-yard line.
Again, the Crusaders gambling, sending Berrien that time.
Be a loss of 7 on the play.
Leaves the coverage in just man-to-man single coverage. And that's what the touchdown pass came on earlier for Baker. That time the gamble pays off, though. Gets the sack for a 7-yard loss.
5.5 minutes to go in the first half. Man in motion. Back to pass again. Tarango. He did as he throws, and the ball is pulled and dropped by Scott Schoenberger.
That was a big-time throw that time by Tarango. He was getting dropped. Dollar had him, putting him on his back, and he's throwing off his back foot, off one foot with a man all over him, and throws a strike to his receiver. He just can't come up with the ball.
Similar play last week in which Eric Black dropped the ball, picked it up, had the rush in on him, and threw what I would call a P, 40 yards, and completed the pass. And Tarango almost did the same thing there.
Yeah, what we've seen in Tarango is not a forbidden dance. This guy's a pretty good quarterback.
Thornton is going to come wide to the right, along with Travis Miller. Tarango is going to throw out of the shotgun. He's back to pass. The rush is on, and again, his wide receiver, this time Thad Owens, was wide open. This time Sam Dollar was shooting through there. And it'll bring up 4th and 17. So the Crusaders are going to dodge the bullet.
Yeah, they do. They dodge a big bullet on the return, and Tarango delivered another pretty good pass that time, a little bit behind the receiver, but that's where he had to throw it because of the coverage, and they're going to go for a field goal later.
Their field goal kicker is Jason Holt. His long this year is 39, and they're going to be looking at a 48-yard attempt. Line of scrimmage, the 38-yard line. Left-footed kicker. Snap back, the ball is down, the kick is on the way, and this one is going to be short. and wide to the left. So the Crusaders are able to get away with not letting the long kickoff return and the penalty hurt them. So a good series defensively for Evangel. 5:13 to go in the first half, 13-7. The Crusaders have the lead of the ball game.
And that's a little bit what we talked about again. You know, Baker has so many weapons. They're going to make some plays. They're going to move the ball offensively. The key is keeping them out of the end zone. Defense has to come up with big plays at big times in the game. So far, they've done that pretty well.
The ball comes out to the 31-yard line. And Evangel will take over first and 10. A reminder, you're listening to Crusader Football on KADI Republic Springfield. David Wilkie, our studio engineer, with Darren Cates. I'm Rob Evans at the Plaster Sports Complex. 13-7, Evangel with a lead. On the first down play, the handoff to Warren Honore, and he's in jail. He gets away for a couple of yards. He was hit back behind the line and kind of stopped behind the pile. Not necessarily hit hard, but he was able to get away and kind of run around the stack and get out to the 33, make it the 34-yard line. So give him 3, 2nd and 7.
That time, Isaiah, for Baker defense, had some penetration back into the backfield, drove the blocker back in the backfield, and that's why Andre had to turn back inside.
Isaiah, 260-pound junior tackle at 6'4". He's a big one. Honore lines up on the wing this time. Coley the lone setback. Marlin gets the handoff, sprints to the outside, tries to turn the corner and can't, retreats back behind the line, fumbles the football, out of bounds, and a flag is thrown. And I'm not so sure that the flag was thrown. I think he reached for the beanbag and found the flag. And soon the flag is replaced by the beanbag. So that's where the ball is marked. And they'll end up losing some yardage. So Coley's going to lose the 3 yards that the Crusaders gained on first down. It'll bring up 3rd and 10.
Now, speaking of Isaiah, saying how big he was so big his mama named him twice.
I was waiting for you to come up with something like that. Turner wide left. Schmidley wide, Trastina wide right. High formation, play action fake. Black to throw. Black with a lot of time. Black rolls to his right, looking to adjust. He finds the receiver. That's Schmidley, who makes the catch at the 45. He's coming to the near sideline at midfield, into Baker territory at the 40-yard line, and he's run out of bounds. Brandon Schmidley with a lot of ad-libbing as the basic routes were covered up. And Black had enough time to allow him to get open. He floated the ball over the top, and that pass play is good for 30 yards. And it's into Baker territory. Wow, they give him a big positive spot. He stepped out of bounds 40. And they put the ball down on the 37-yard line. I guess when he stepped over the line with his first foot or crossed over the line, they waited until he put his foot down out of bounds. And that gave him the extra 3 yards. So that makes it a 33-yard pass play. Big positive spot for Evangel that time. 4 minutes to play in the first half. Black to throw. Black over the middle. He has a man, and Trastina dropped the football. It hit him in the hands, and he juggled it and could not corral it.
As you've seen, right as the ball hit his hands, he looked a little bit downfield because he had an open space ahead of him, looked to run a little bit before he put it away. Then he has to look back to try to catch it as a juggler. He can't recover from that.
So the pass incomplete, 2nd and 10 with 3:59 to play. Evangel trying before halftime to add another touchdown. They lead 13-7. Turner wide right. Trastina wide left. High formation with Coley. And Honore in the backfield. The play barely gets off and beats the clock. The handoff to Coley. Coley hit at the 35 and is able to bounce off and get down to the 32-yard line. So that'll be a gain of 5 for Marlon Coley. I'll tell you what, I got to admit, I like the way he runs in the backfield. But I think the key is, like you say, the key is having Warren Honore in there as that blocking fullback. He does an outstanding job at that. And
the dimension that Coley has, again, is that he hits everything so quickly. He may not be the fastest of the backs.
He may be the quickest, though.
Yes, he gets started so quickly. He's going full speed by the time he gets the handoff.
Black is motioning to his receivers. Turner wide right along with Bunning. Baker's going to show blitz. They toss it to Marlon Coley. Coley at the 30. He is going to lose the football, but he was out of bounds at the 27-yard line, and that'll be close to a Crusader first down. There's a flag on the play thrown in the backfield, and a hold is going to be called against the Crusaders. So right now you're starting to see the Crusaders shoot themselves in the foot, much as they did a week ago at Missouri Valley.
Yeah, right now they're moving the ball pretty well despite themselves. They're having to overcome penalties just about on every drive.
Having to overcome themselves in order to be successful. So that penalty is going to hurt because it'll take a first down off the board and bring the ball all the way back to the 45-yard line. So basically it's going to cost them the first down. Three minutes, 6 seconds to go. The clock stopped as the Crusaders huddle up and come to the line. They'll send Brandon Schmidley wide right. Turner comes wide left. Bunning is split to the left with him. And Black will throw out of the shotgun with Reardon and Honore in the backfield beside him. Black to throw. He'll swing it back to Reardon. Reardon catches at the 50, 45, and bumped out of bounds to the 42-yard line. So the play, while it looked good being set up, only ends up gaining about 3 or 4 yards, and it'll bring up fourth down and quite a ways.
Yeah, that time the team speed of Baker is what nullified that play. Like I said, it looked wide open when it was setting up, but they got there in such a hurry, you really didn't have any room to run.
There's a reason why they let it look wide open, because when Black retreated, it must have been a good 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage, so it looked like he ran a long ways, when in reality it was only about 3 or 4 yards. It'll be 4th and 14. And Ragsdale to punt. The snap is a good one. From the 50-yard line, he hits the punt. A high spiral inside the 10. It'll bounce at the 10 and be down by Morris Cannon at the 9-yard line. 2 minutes, 50 seconds to go in the first half. A 28-yard punt from the line of scrimmage. And that's pretty much all that he wanted. If he gets much more, then you're in danger of having the ball go into the end zone and come out to the 20-yard line. Well, this afternoon is full of activity. Basketball Crusaders, the men's team of Steve Jenkins, having a couple of scrimmages today over at the Ashcroft Center with some junior college teams coming in. And basketball season gets started before you know it on November 4th this year. Tarango on the down-the-line option. He's hit and is going to get dropped by Sam Dollar back behind the line of scrimmage. He'll be back at the 6-yard line.
Sam Dollar's going to get credit for that tackle, but Jay Hellwig's the man who makes the play that time. Coming in from his defensive end position, just created all sorts of havoc, taking out a blocker and the man who was getting the fake that time on the veer handoff, and just disrupted the whole play from the start.
2 minutes, 20 seconds to go. First half, and Baker looking at second down and about 13 yards to go for the first. Out of the I formation, they send a man in motion. Tarango will hand it to Josh White. White is going to get some of the yardage back that they lost and get back to the 9-yard line. And somebody's hollering timeout with 1:50 to go. The clock continues to run. And it'll bring up third down and 10 yards to go. Basketball season opens 2 weeks from yesterday. Crusaders will be playing in the William Jewell Classic this year on November 4th and 5th. Our first basketball broadcast coming before the end of football season. We'll still have 2 games left in the football season. Hopefully more, but at least 2. Tarango to throw from his own goal line. The pass is caught. Short of the first down, I do believe. The pass caught. And it was caught by Thad Owens. Now let's see what the spot looks like. The way they've got him marked, he's going to be short of the first down by less than a yard. And with 1:05 to go, I don't believe Baker on their own 20 is going to want to gamble at this point. And Evangel is going to take a timeout. It'll be 4th down and 1. So we'll see if Charlie Richard is going to roll the bones and gamble in this end of the field with about a minute or so to go in the first half. Minute 2 exactly left to go with the Evangel taking the timeout.
I doubt if he's really seriously contemplating going for it, especially in this situation. What you might see him do is bring the offense out, try to draw the Crusaders off sides, and either take the penalty or call timeout, and then send the punting team on.
We'll wait and see. The Crusader defense goes out. With Clayton coming back, looks like he is going to receive the punt. And it looks like Baker's going to go ahead and bring the punting team into the ball game at this point. So Robinson, who only averages about 35, 36 yards a punt, 36.2, in a situation where Evangel is going to get relatively good field position, is Reardon and Clayton go back to receive the punt, and they may try to draw him offside from here. The snap is a low one, but he'll get the kick away. A high spiral. It's going to send Reardon back to the 30-yard line. He comes to the near side, 35, and has his feet up and taken out from under him at the 37, but a penalty flag is thrown at the 40-yard line. A 48-yard punt with little or no return, and let's see who the penalty is on. If it's on the Crusaders, then Baker will have done their job, and it is an illegal block against Evangel. This is amazing.
That really hurts, too, because like you said, they were going to end up with, although he did boom the punt, a 48-yard kick.
They're in good field position right here. And because of that, now they're in terrible field position with a minute to go. You're going to be back inside the 30-yard line. So in effect, you go from what, the 10 to the 30. I mean, that was a heck of a play for Baker. So once again, how many penalties now for Evangel?
The 7th penalty they've had this game for 85 yards.
51 seconds left to go. Black will throw out of the shotgun. There's time enough if you execute the 2-minute offense. Black rolls, fires, Turner catches at the 39-yard line for a first down. Or it should be a first down where they come back and mark him short. And they're going to stretch the chains out, and he is going to be less than a foot. Well, actually just a couple of inches short of the first down. And once again, Pat did not get a good spot. Where they gave the Crusaders 3 yards on the spot down here a little bit ago. I wish they'd just give them about part of that on this one. Doesn't matter because basically it's second down and less than a foot. With 44 seconds to go, they're not really playing for the first down here. They're playing to get into field goal range. Black will throw on second down and short. Swings the ball out. Turner's there. Pat makes the catch into Baker territory at the 48-yard line. We have 39 seconds to go. 13 yards on that pass play. And Black was getting some pressure on him. So with 39 seconds to go, Evangel with the ball. Probably need another 20 yards to really get within field goal range. Maybe even a little further than that. Turner goes wide right with Reardon. The tight end, Bunning, will be in tight on the right. Schmidley wide to the left. Black out of the shotgun with Honore, the lone setback, standing beside him. The snap is good. Black to pass. He's looking. He fires. Schmidley is open over the middle. Black overthrows it, and it's intercepted at the 25-yard line by Robert Villafranca. Villafranca at the 45, and he is wrapped up and tossed by Stacey Reardon at the 47-yard line. And Brandon Schmidley was about as wide open as you could get, going across the middle, and Eric overthrew it.
Yeah, just put a little too bit of mustard on that ball as he released. Like you said, Schmidley was open over the middle, waited for him perfectly. A lot of times quarterbacks get in a hurry trying to find the man open in the zone. He waits for Schmidley to clear. He's in the opening, just overthrew him.
So with 25 seconds to go, we'll see if Charlie Richard goes deep and tries to put more points on the board or whether or not they're going to sit on it and go in down by 6, and they're going to throw the ball out of the shotgun. Trips to the near side, Tarango to pass. He fires over the middle. The flag is thrown. The ball is caught by Thad Owens, and he's tackled on the Evangel 45-yard line. A gain of 11, good for the first down. Let's wait for the penalty flag with 19 seconds to go here in the first half. Looks like it's in a situation where it's going to be against Baker, the way they're talking to the Crusaders. Illegal motion against the Wildcats. I think both coaches are going to be very, very upset with their offenses today because of the execution or the lack thereof.
Yeah, not necessarily in their blocking or getting their plays ran, just in the fact that penalties. Execution has been very poor on both sides of the ball.
So the ball goes back to the 40-yard line, and we have 19 seconds to go in the first half. We're going to get a Wildcat timeout. Baker takes time with 19 seconds to go in the first half. We'll go ahead and keep it here, and it'll give us a chance to talk about what's coming up next week. Next week, the Crusaders will be on the road at Graceland. It'll be a 1:30 start with the pregame scheduled for 1:15 next Saturday afternoon. And then the following Friday night, the Crusader basketball team will open up their season in the William Jewell Classic. And what we understand, that is a 6 o'clock start on Friday night with the pregame show at 5:45 on Friday evening, November 4th. And then November 5th, settle back for doubleheader action as the basketball team plays at 6. The football team plays at 7:30 here at the Plaster Sports Complex against Central Methodist. So a lot of Evangel action coming up here in the next couple of weeks right here on KDI. Baker picks second in the Heart of America Conference preseason poll, a point behind Missouri Valley. Evangel picked third in the preseason. 19 seconds to go in the half after the timeout. Evangel leading 13-7. And Baker from their own 40-yard line on first down and long. Tarango to pass. He fires for Jeff Sims, who makes the catch behind the line, steps out over the 40 to the 43, and gets out of bounds with 13 seconds to go. So the pass play good for 4 of the 5 yards they lost in the penalty, and it'll bring up second down and 11 to go.
You know, they sure put a lot of people out in the pattern and a lot of motion and a lot of different things going on just to throw a little simple 4-yard hitch pattern that time, didn't
Well,
they?
the reason why they threw the hitch pattern like that was because nobody else was open. The safety valve man was standing over here near the sideline to where he could get out of bounds. Jeff Sims did that well. Second down to the 11 from the 44. The shovel pass to Jason White. White into Crusader territory at the 40-yard line, inside the 40, down to the 36 with 6 seconds to go. And now Baker is going to, well, actually the clock is stopped as they move the chains. It's good for a first down, and I believe they've also given Baker credit for a timeout with 6 seconds to go. So the shovel pass is good. That is passing yardage, if you will, which takes the ball from the 43 into Evangel territory to the 37 is where they're going to spot him now.
And the shovel pass is what the Crusaders scored on earlier with Stacy Reardon catching one. Look at Baker taking a play out of the Evangel College playbook.
Well, that time the play was good for 19 yards and a first down. And you know, we talked about something earlier, and that is that when the Crusaders first joined the Heart, Baker was line them up, double tight, run the football, play smash mouth, you know, just run it right down your throat and put up big running yardage figures on the board. Now they're more of a wide open type of team. You remember Charlie Richard took a sabbatical year a couple of years back, and I don't know if that changed his thinking or if he did some studying on it or what, but he has opened things up, and they throw the football around the yard about as well as anybody. They get 4 men out of the pass pattern. We have 6 seconds to go. They look for Sims at the 30-yard line. The pass is underthrown with 3 seconds left, and I think they were just looking to get the ball close to within field goal range.
Yeah, now you're probably going to see him do something a little different. They're probably going to go for the end zone with only 3 seconds. They felt that time they could catch the ball quick enough, get out of bounds, set up for the kicker, that's not going to be the situation here. They're probably going to throw for the end zone.
So with 3 seconds to go, we'll see what they do indeed decide to do, whether or not they throw it deep or looks like they're going to do that or just touch it down and go. Out of the shotgun with 3 men to the wide side, they're going to put 2 men to the near side. And Tarango to throw. He'll loft it up long, and they overthrow White. They're going to try to let him catch it and run in, as opposed to throwing it deep into the end zone. I don't think they felt they had enough time. Either way, the ball was overthrown, and the first half has come to a close. 13-7. Evangel has the halftime lead, and we'll be back with a look at the scoring recap after this 2-minute timeout on KADI.
Rushed the ball 18 times for 70 yards, and have passed the ball 12 of 18 times for 174 yards. Baker is only 6 for 13 for 78 yards. Baker's only been able to rush the ball for 65 yards on 19 carries.
Evangel with the football going from your left to your right. Here in the third quarter, Eric Black under center. Stacy Reardon the lone setback. Honore on the wing, and Reardon is going to get the handoff. Gets to the outside of the 15 and out to the 18-yard line. So that will be a gain of 5 yards on first down. Bring up second down and 5. Next week for Baker, they will play Benedictine, go to Mid-American Nazarene, and then face Missouri Valley. So their last 4 games, they have the big 3 in the conference. And really this year, you got to throw the Sons of the Pioneers in there as well, thanks to their win over the Crusaders. Turner comes wide to the right. Schmidley will join him. Trastina is split wide to the left side of the field. The handoff to Warren Honore, and Honore is going to get to the 20-yard line before being driven back, and that'll bring up third down and 3. The Crusaders will close out with Graceland, Central Methodist, and William Jewell after today. And you would like to think that Evangel is favored to win those games, but Graceland is always difficult because it's coming on the heels of the emotional game here against Baker.
Also a very long trip.
Telling me. On third down from the 20-yard line, it's third down and 3. Play action fake. Black rolls to the near side, flips the ball out. It's tipped and it's incomplete. The guy who got a piece of the football to tip it was one of the down linemen, Isaiah, I-S-A-I-A. Spelled both names the same. And he tipped that third down pass and brings up fourth down and 3. So Baker defensively has done the job here in the opening moments of quarter number 3.
And you could just feel the Crusader coaching staff after that ball got tipped just sigh until the ball hit the ground. The ball really hung up in the air for quite some time after it was tipped.
So Ragsdale will be back to kick it away. Villafranca, one of the 2 men back deep to receive, along with Joel Thornton. And Thornton is going to angle back to the 31-yard line. He makes the catch to the 35, straight ahead of the 40, over the 40 to the 41, possibly the 42-yard line. And that punt good for 47 yards, and that's with the wind. So Ragsdale able to kick the Crusaders out of any danger. And the defense will set up first down and 10 against Baker's offense. Sean Tarango in the first half was 6 of 13 passing the football for 78 yards.
Had a few passes dropped, too.
Out of the I formation with a man in the wing and a wide receiver to the near side. The handoff to the fullback going straight ahead. A running play of about a yard, possibly 2, coming out of there after the carry is Scott No. Kyle Curry ends up making the stop. So Scott No with a carry. He picks up a couple of yards, second down and 8. 13 and a half minutes to go in the third quarter. Travis Miller wide to the right. Man in motion, that's Scott No with White, the lone setback. White gets the handoff. He's hit at the 45-yard line. He'll get another yard, possibly 2. Ryan Helton is there to stick a shoulder pad right in his midsection. And it will bring up third down. And 6 yards to go.
I think this has probably been an area that's kind of troubled Baker today, their inability to really run the football. About the only way they've been able to move it has been through the air so far.
And where have we heard that before? Being unable to move the football on the ground.
Sounds like a mirror image, doesn't it?
Sure does. 4 men out of the pass pattern, 3 of them now to the near side as a man comes in motion. Tarango to pass. He's looking long, and he's got a man. As Schoenberger makes the catch at the 40 and takes it down inside the 30 to the 27-yard line. So Scott Schoenberger, the 6'5", 205-pound senior, makes the catch. And that play good for 28 yards and a first down for Baker. Bails them out of a 3rd down and 6 situation.
What they had that time was 4 receivers out into the pattern. That leaves everybody in one-on-one coverage. That time, Schoenberger didn't have his man beat by much.
But he had him beat.
They had him beat, and Tarango delivered the ball right on the money in the dead sprint.
Miller goes wide right. Joel Thornton comes to the left. Out of the I formation, now Thornton goes in motion. They'll fake the handoff to him, and Kyle Curry did not buy the fake, and he tackles the quarterback at the 32-yard line. They're going to say that he had progress to the 31, but Kyle Curry starting at the right tackle spot, and they did not fool the Crusader defense a bit.
No, they didn't fool Kyle Curry at all, and they didn't block him at all either. He had a free shot at Tarango that time, just put him on his back in his tracks.
Jeff Sims comes into the lineup, and Scott Noe will go over to the sideline. Sims and Schoenberger will go split wide to the right. They will line up double tight and send wide in motion. So they're going to have a lot of people out of the pass pattern. Tarango swings it out to White. He drops the football, and it's going to be ruled an incomplete pass. It very easily could have been ruled a lateral, but they're going to say that it was just a bit forward.
That time he heard footsteps as Jay Hellwig was just all up in his jersey that time, right as he was catching the ball. He just let it go through the breadbasket.
It'll bring up 3rd down and 13. Back at the 31-yard line. And once again, a similar situation when they had 3rd down and long on the previous series. They were able to pick up the first down. Thornton and Schoenberger go wide right. White, the lone setback, and he's going to go in motion. Tarango will throw out of the shotgun. He's back to pass. He fires over the middle. The ball is bobbled and then caught for a first down. It was caught by the tight end, Aaron Hunter, who makes his 3rd catch of the year, and boy, was that a big one. The Crusaders were in a position where they were going to get the football back, and now Baker is inside the 20-yard line at the 16, and they have a 1st and 10.
Now, what the problem is whenever they send wide in motion and leave no one in the backfield, that means they have 5 receivers out, and the linebacker needs to pick him up or the tight end up, and what's happening is the linebacker may be on a blitz call, and if he's on a blitz call, one of those guys are wide open. That time they connected. Earlier in the first half, they didn't always connect on those patterns. That time he was wide open.
Miller goes wide to the right. Scott Noe comes in motion. They hand off to Jason White from the tailback spot. He's inside the 15 to the 13-yard line. John Oglesby makes the stop. Sam Dollar and Harvey Berrien climb out of there as well. So a gain of 3 yards, 2nd down and 7. (13-7), Evangel with the lead. 10.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Sims and Schoenberger wide right. The tight end Hunter will go in motion from the left to the right. The toss sweep to Jason White. White is forced to cut back by Sam Dollar, and as he does so, he hits the rest of the pursuit. And that's going to be no gain on the play, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 8. Make it 3rd and 7. Depending on where they spot the ball. And they're going to replace it at the 14-yard line, so it will be 3rd and 8.
You said it correctly that time. Dollar's one who made that play as he turned it back inside. White had just nowhere to go as the Crusader defense was catching up way too fast for him to cut back.
So another big 3rd down play. Out of the shotgun, Tarango sends 5 men out of the pass pattern. He's got time, and he's got a man wide open in the end zone, but he overthrows Thad Owens. And it will bring up a field goal try, I believe. With the clock stopped with 9.5 minutes to go, it'll bring up 4th down and 8 from the 14-yard line.
You had to believe that time Baker had what they wanted. They had Thad Owens in one-on-one situation with Jay Hellwig into the secondary. Tarango just overthrew him. You probably could have waited a little bit before he released the ball. Went ahead and threw it early. Threw it over his head.
This will be a 30-yard field goal attempt for Jason Holt. He's 2 out of 3 this year with a long of 39 yards. The snap down. The ball is on the way. The kick is no good. It's wide to the right. So the field goal try is no good. The Crusaders will have the football on the 20-yard line, 1st down and 10.
And the defense holds again, dodges another bullet, keeps Baker out of the end zone, and then, of course, they miss the field goal. Defense does their job on that stand.
You wonder how long that is going to continue, because this is a good offensive football team in Baker University.
They have put 40 points on the board at least in their last 4 games, and you don't do that by kicking field goals. They've been getting into the end zone.
On 1st down and 10, 3 men out of the pass pattern as Reardon sets up in the slot to the near side. Black will turn, play action fake. He's got some time. He's going long over the middle. Shmidley is out there. His feet of the defender and the receiver get tangled up. Shmidley falls down, is unable to get to the ball, and no flag is thrown on the play.
I think one official saying incident of contact. I see another official put his hand over his head saying it was an uncatchable ball.
Well, it was uncatchable because he tripped it.
Because he tripped him, of course. And again, maybe incidental contact, you can get away with that excuse. It's still, he was going right through Shmidley trying to get to the ball. I think you got to throw the flag in that situation. No matter what the case is, they're not going to throw the flag, and it's going to be 2nd and 10 for the Crusaders.
Well, if I'm one of the coaches down on the sideline, and very rarely do I advocate getting an unsportsmanlike call, but I make them throw a flag on that play one way or another. They're either going to throw it on that play or they're going to throw it on me because I'm going to get all over it. Fortunately, that's probably why I'm better off way away from those guys. That was not a good call. And it'll be 2nd down and 10 from the 20-yard line. The handoff to Warren Honore on the draw play. Looked like he had a hole. Now, am I wrong in saying that he veered right into the defender?
I don't think he saw the defender because he was behind him, but he did veer into that situation where he was right there, and the defender really fell on him from behind, got on his back, and took him down.
It would look like he had a situation where he had a big hole, and had he gone straight ahead, could have picked up some yardage, but it looked like he veered right over into him, and the defender was able to catch him from the side and from behind. So it'll be a gain of 4 yards, 3rd down and 6. And the Crusaders trying to see if they can overcome the non-call on that 1st down pass play, looking at 3rd and long. Got 4 men out of the pass pattern. Black with a quick drop. He fires over the middle, and Shmidley again is wearing a defender on his back. And he's not the kind of kid who gets upset, and he's yelling at that same linesman again. I'm not so sure he had a case that time, though he claims he was held for the uniform jersey. He did not get the call. The Crusaders did not complete the pass, and Matt Ragsdale will be in to kick it away. So it's 4th down and 6 with 8:29 to go. In quarter number 3 in Ragsdale, who so far today has averaged 35 yards a kick, in to kick it away, and he booms one high and deep, and Thornton makes the catch. The 32-yard line at the 35. He sidesteps a tackler, gets out to the 39, and he is snowed under by a sea of maroon jerseys, and that time a 43-yard kick. One of the reasons why Matt's average is low today is because he placed one inside the 20-yard line, in which he only got like a 30-yard punt out of it, which hurts the average, but does exactly what his team wanted him to do that time.
Yeah, the line of scrimmage on that, the kick where he did boot it inside the 10 and got down at the 9, was the 37. So if he boots a 40-yarder in the end zone, they're not going to net but 17 yards. He did his job, just didn't show up on the average that way.
Ball back on the 39-yard line, 1st down and 10 out of the I formation. Tarango hands it to Jason White. White with a hole that was there for a moment, and then it closed quickly, gets to the 40. Michael Odom there to make the stop. So it'll be a gain of a yard, second down, 9 to go with 8 minutes left to play in the third quarter.
And I hate to bring up last year even at all, but this was a problem the Crusaders had last year. They couldn't stop Baker's running attack. So far today, they're doing a pretty good job against it, which puts them in second and long situations when they're going to throw.
Knock on wood. You're right. So far they have. Tarango to pass. Fires it out to Thornton, and he gets away. Thornton is going to get first down yardage near midfield as Troy Clayton and Harvey Berrien had him hit. And the 5'4", 140-pound speedster got away and gets the first down at the 49-yard line where Derek McBride runs him out of bounds.
Well, what happened, they went at him pretty high, and there's not much high to hit on him. He can duck under most everything. Like I said, Clayton's not a real big guy himself, but he went over the top of him, too. He just basically, I know it sounds hard to believe, just ducks under him. He's only 5'4".
You're listening to Crusader Football on KADI Republic Springfield. David Wilkie, our studio engineer. With Darren Cates, I'm Rob Evans from the Plaster Sports Complex. Travis Miller goes in motion. Tarango drops the snap, retreats to pass. He's going to throw it long. He's got Thornton out there, and Thornton can't make the catch. He was man-on-man with Troy Clayton, and I believe that play was designed to be a run. But when he dropped the ball and picked it up, he knew he had a receiver running a post pattern and decided to try and take a chance and get it.
And what happens a lot of times in a situation like that where the quarterback drops the ball in his backfield, the secondary has a tendency to relax or want to come up and make a play. They did not do that time. As you've seen the Evangel defender stay right with his man, that was Troy Clayton on the coverage, stayed right with his man, didn't get burnt, played it very well.
So you're looking at 2nd and 10 with 7.5 minutes to go. Ball on the Baker 49-yard line. And Tarango with the draw play to Jason White. White explodes through the hole. He runs over a tackler and gets the first down at the 40-yard line. He ran over the freshman strong safety, Brian McManus, and picked up first down yardage. Brian had a chance to stop him at the 45-yard line, but hold on, there's a flag thrown in the backfield. And it's going to be against the Wildcats. If either team stays under 100 yards in penalties today, it will be a modern-day miracle because Baker had 77 at halftime. The Crusaders had 89 yards in penalties.
This is going to put Baker right at 92 in penalty yards.
It's going to take away the first down run and bring the ball all the way back to the Baker 35-yard line. So basically, that is a 25-yard penalty. And it's going to be 2nd and 25. They had the first down, and they lost it. Out of the shotgun with 3 men to the near side of the field, 1 man to the far side. On the shovel pass, it is caught by White. He gets away from Ryan Helton, gets back to midfield, into Crusader territory at the 45-yard line. So he gets back 20 of the 24 yards they needed on that play, and that is a play defensively that the Crusaders are saying we had him stopped behind the line of scrimmage and let him get away.
And the shovel pass has been effective for both teams today. Big yardage just about every time either team runs it. And Hellwig was crashing that time from his defensive end position, had a chance to get some Tarango, but when he's just throwing a little shovel pass, it's going to be all for naught.
Out of the shotgun on 3rd down and 4. Again, 3 men make it 5 men, or 4 men now out of the pass pattern with Scott Noe staying back to block the throw out on the flat to Joel Thornton. He would have had a first down, but he dropped the football. I'm confusing him with a young man who played baseball a few years ago with the Blue Jays organization named Lou Thornton. And it's Joel Thornton, and I hope you forgive me for that. They're not anything alike. Lou was about 6'2", and Joel's about 5'2", but that's the reason why I make that Freudian slip. Both were very, very fast individuals, however, and the Crusaders catch a break as Joel is unable to catch the pass in a punting situation. Robinson is going to kick it from his own 45. He'll sail it high and deep inside the 10. It'll bounce to the 5, and it'll go out of bounds at the 4. And as the man once said, if it weren't for bad luck, we wouldn't have any luck at all.
Beautiful bounce that time for Baker.
41-yard punt on that play for Chad Robinson, and that was just like they tell you to do it. So go drop the ball down at the 4-yard line and out of bounds. And he says, okay, coach.
Runs back to the sideline. Says, this is an easy game, isn't it?
This football, it'd be very, very easy. .6:18 to go in the third quarter. It is 13-7. Evangel with the lead, but they're in trouble with the ball on their own 4-yard line. And Eric Black under center. Baker showing a blitz. They hand the ball to Honore, or is that Glenn Nichols in the game?
Looks like Glenn Nichols is in the game.
Well, and he gets the carry. That's Honore wearing Nichols' number. Because you look at the 34 on his helmet, he's wearing 33 on his jersey. So Honore with the carry gets no gain, maybe forward for a yard. Second down and 9 with 5:40 to play.
Which begs the question, what's Nichols wearing?
Out of the I formation with Black to throw out of the end zone. He's going long. Turner's out there, and he overthrows it. Black threw that ball 50 yards, 55 yards, because he was about 4 or 5 yards deep into the end zone and then got knocked on his wallet as he threw it. And still threw it 50 yards, and it looked like he wasn't trying to throw it that far.
That is a strong arm.
I'd like to see him get enough time to really, truly throw the bomb and let the guy get deep, because he has the kind of arm. Really, you haven't had one since Don Decker played here. The guy who could get the ball up in the air high enough and throw it far enough to let the receivers run under it. Decker and a guy named James Fiesel had the ability to play pitch and catch like that quite well, and Turner and Black seem to be able to develop that type of ability. Reardon gets the handoff and gets hit at the goal line and gets back to the 4-yard line if he's lucky. And the Crusaders are going to punt out of their own end zone.
Barely got out of the end zone that time. Looked like someone had a shot at him to get him in the end zone. And this could be an interesting situation here, having to punt from deep in their own end zone.
So Ragsdale standing on the back line of the end zone. The snap is good. The punt is a high, wobbly kick. It's going to be caught at the 50-yard line by Thornton. Thornton stutter steps. A flag is thrown. 2 flags are thrown, and Thornton goes down at the 46-yard line. So a 46-yard punt for Matt Ragsdale. That was a big league punt.
Yeah, does he deliver in that situation? That's a big-time punt.
Now let's talk about the penalty flag with 4:36 to go in the third.
Not only was that a big throw from his end zone, but is under pressure, too. Had some people coming at him.
It looks like and sounds like an illegal block down at the field. Referee is already beginning to march off yardage, and the illegal block penalty is called. The ball goes back to the Baker 43-yard line. Both coaches are probably, and both coaching staffs are going to sit back and say, boy, if we could just avoid the penalties. Baker's over 100 yards in penalties. And Evangel, I'm sure, is close. Evangel had the advantage in that category at halftime. 13-7, the Crusaders have the lead. Baker with the football at the 43. Thornton to the left. They have 2 men going to the right. Thornton goes in motion, and Tarango overthrows his intended receiver. He was looking for a man who lined up as a wideout. He was looking for Eric Price, sophomore out of the Wichita, Kansas area. Turns out that Derek McBride and Troy Clayton ran into each other and had the best shot of the football.
Yeah, he was looking for Price, but threw at 3 Evangel defenders. That was the difference in that situation.
Out of the I formation on second down and 10. Schoenberger goes in motion from the I formation spot. Tarango rolls to the right, looks to pass, and throws it out of bounds. And he was getting pressure applied by the Crusaders, John Oglesby and Michael Odom. So it'll bring up third down and 10. And here's another one of those plays. Last week, I had nightmares of David Harris running the option play on 3rd and long this last week, and Tarango has been able to come up with big plays on 3rd down of his own, but his have been the passing variety.
I wouldn't be surprised here if they go to the shovel pass again.
Last time they did it, it gained big yardage. This time, it looks like they're going to put the men out of the pass pattern. They've got Tim Herbst and Schoenberger wide right. Thad Owens goes in motion, and the blitz is on. Berrien gets Tarango, and will not let him go. Now he slips away. He still maintains his footing, flips the ball out to Scott Noe, and he is tackled at the 39-yard line. Berrien had him in every possible position except down on the turf, and Tarango was able to get away and complete the pass, but he ends up losing 2 yards after it's all said and done.
Very athletic play that time by Tarango. We spoke earlier about his athleticism, and like you said, Berrien had him by his jersey, had him by the neck, really just couldn't get his arms around him. That was the whole thing, was flinging him everywhere, but he stayed on his feet, tried to throw him down, but he put his hand down and got the pass away.
So Chad Robinson in to kick it away, standing at his own 26. The snap is a bit high. He gets the kick away from the 30. It's a high spiral, and it is going to angle towards the far sideline and out of bounds at the 34 or 35-yard line. So Evangel is going to get relatively good field position out of this. A 26-yard punt against the Breeze. 3 minutes, 34 seconds to go in the third. 13-7. The Crusaders have the lead and the football. Eric Black goes into the huddle. Looks like he's going to have John Dollar going to the left. Brandon Schmidley coming to the right. David Baker and Warren Honore in the backfield, with Honore running out of the I-back, or the I formation, on the tail of the tandem. And he's going to get the call on first down, slips a couple of tackles out over the 40-45, dives to the 48-yard line. That'll be good for a Crusader first down. Gain of 12 yards on the play for Warren Honore. So the Crusaders pick up the first down.
And that time David Baker kind of reversed roles with Honore, as he throws the blocks for Honore that time, and breaks him for 11-yard gain.
3 minutes and 29 seconds to go. Clock continues to move as we get down to the 3:20 mark as Black brings his team to the line. Baker's going to line up in the slot to the left. John Dollar goes split to the left. Marlon Coley, the lone setback. Schmidley to the right. Motion on the defensive side of the ball. Long count, toss sweep to Marlon Coley. He's going to cut it upfield and then slip as he gets hit by Marlon Graves behind the line of scrimmage. So it'll bring up second down, 11. 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go here in quarter number 3. Second down, they're going to say that he got back to the line of scrimmage. So they give him forward progress. I'm sure the coaches just love that. They just announced that Honore is wearing 33, and they're like, that takes away from everything. You ever try to deceive the other team by changing a jersey? No, I don't think that the coaches were fooled. Straight ahead on the handoff, Honore gets to midfield, picks up 2 yards. It'll bring up third down and 8. I think we gave the carry to Honore. It was Reardon, who gets the handoff. He was piled up so quickly at midfield, it was tough to see who it was. 2 minutes to go. 13-7. Evangel on top. The Crusaders taking their time. With the ball at midfield, they need at least 8 yards. Jeremy Trastina goes wide to the left. Turner and Bunning to the right. They have Schmidley out there as well. Black to throw. Steps up in the pocket. Fires it over the middle. The ball is caught. And Jeremy Trastina has first down yardage inside the 40 at the 36-yard line. And he was wearing Marlon Graves inside his jersey. That was just a good pass and catch by Eric Black and Jeremy Trastina.
Yeah, to get to Trastina that time, he had to throw a strike, and he did. Delivered it right on the money. Trastina makes the catch right over the middle, breaks up that zone a little bit, and gets first down yardage.
90 seconds left to go. First down and 10 for the Crusaders. Turner goes wide left along with Schmidley. And Krastina comes to the right. Out of the I formation, we have Honore, the fullback, Reardon, the tailback. And a play-action fake to Stacy. Black rolls to the near side. He's going to set, he's going to throw, and the ball is tipped. Incomplete. And now, wait a minute, they're going to say the ball was caught at the 20-yard line. I thought it was close, but I also thought the receiver was out of bounds. Krastina behind him makes the catch after the ball was tipped by Baker.
Acrobatic catch that time by Krastina. Except the ball was tipped. I think it was the Smidley that got his hand on the ball.
It was either he or Villafranca.
As the ball was thrown a little bit over Smidley's head, they just gave Krastina enough time to get over there, make the catch near the sideline. Looked like he was going out of bounds, got his foot down, and gives the Crusaders a first down inside the red zone.
At the 20-yard line, first down and 10, Honore the lone setback. Two wide receivers, one to each side, Reardon in the slot. And the shovel pass to Reardon. Reardon at the 20. Inside the 15, down to the 14-yard line as he turns it straight ahead at the near hash mark. On the shovel pass, that's going to be good yardage for the Crusaders on first down. 50 seconds to go. The clock continues to run. Gain of 6 on that play for Evangel. And that play has worked very well this afternoon for both ball clubs.
You think the coaches are enjoying this, being able to run that play at each other, and the other team not being able to stop it at all?
No, I don't think either coaching staff is enjoying that except when they have the football. Turner goes wide left. Krastina comes wide right. Reardon in the slot. Bunting the tight end in tight to the left. Honore the lone setback, and Baker shows blitz. They get back. Black is going to sneak the ball forward. And that might be a bit of freshman inexperience there, because as soon as the guy stepped over the line of scrimmage, if he would have snapped the football, he would have been in great shape. He would have gotten a penalty, and they would have been close to the first down. It had been second down and 1 as it is. He gets a gain of a yard, and it brings up third down and 4 at the end of the third quarter. So at the end of 3, it's Evangel 13, Baker 7. Back with the fourth quarter in 60 seconds.
Pretty smart.
Going to be a long 3 as we get set to start the fourth quarter. The ball is on the 13-yard line. Evangel going now from your right to your left, and they'll bring Turner to the near side, Schmidley to the far side to the right. Blake Bunting, the tight end, in tight to the left out of the I formation. Baker and Honore form the tandem. And the handoff to Warren Honore straight ahead. He gets stuffed behind the line of scrimmage. So Eric Apgar is going to come in and attempt a field goal.
No hesitation that time on the call to get in Apgar. I thought maybe they'd think about trying to go for it there on fourth down. He's electing right away to go ahead and kick it.
Well, that would make Baker get 2 scores if they hit the field goal. This will be a 30-yard attempt out of the hold of Brian McNabb on fourth down and 4. Ball is down. The kick is on the way. It is long enough, and it is good. 14-19 to go in the ball game. It's now Evangel 16. Baker 7. Back with a kickoff in 60 seconds.
If your old appliances are...
Apgar. For Apgar, that's his fourth field goal in 7 tries. And it gives Evangel a 16-7 lead. Still a long ways to go in this game yet, with 14 minutes and 19 seconds left to go. A scoreless third quarter in the game. Evangel trying to break a 2-game losing streak. Baker is riding the wave of a 4-game winning streak after losing their first game of the year. The kick is a squib kick. Thornton is going to pick it up, bobble it at the 10, ahead to the 20, 25, and rides the wave out to the 29, maybe the 30-yard line. So considering that he dropped it at the 8-yard line, a pretty good return by Joel Thornton. You know, we haven't talked about last year's game much. You alluded to it earlier. The reason why we didn't is because the final was Baker 51, Evangel 13. One of the 2 losses that the Crusaders suffered a year ago, and that one was not a pleasant afternoon to remember.
No, it was not, and like I said, things in that game just kind of snowballed, and all stemmed, I think, from the Crusaders' inability to stop the running game, something they have done today.
Out of the I formation, the shotgun, the handoff to Jason White, and White is going to get out over the 30 to the 34-yard line. It'll be a gain of 4, 2nd and 6. He ended up carrying Kyle Curry and Michael Odom and Sam Dollar part of the way with him on that carry. Gain of 4, 2nd and 6.
And just like I was talking about them stopping the run effectively today, you're seeing Baker trying to run out a lot of different formations now, or going to the shovel pass, knowing that they're having trouble running the football. They're trying to get it in different ways.
13 and a half minutes to go. We'll keep an eye on the clock. Evangel doing a lot of jumping around defensively. They're going with a 3-man front in a passing situation. The handoff is to White. White at the 40 has the first down as he gains 7 yards out over the, make it 8 yards out to the 42-yard line. So White picks up the first down yardage. The Crusaders are going to change things up defensively, getting Billy Boston into the ball game, and John Oglesby will take a seat. On first down and 10, Tim Herbst comes to the near side. White now comes in motion, so they have 3 men to the near side of the field. Tarango fires over the middle, and Thornton had the ball caught. McBride stuck a hand in there and knocked it away. And I think Derek is upset that he was unable to pull the ball in.
Now, McBride thought he should have came up with that interception, played it really well. He had that, you had that situation as a free safety when that ball's coming over the middle. Is do you take a shot at the receiver, or do you take a shot at the ball? Maybe that little indecision cost him there. He did get a hand on the ball, though.
Unable to pull it in, and that'll bring up second down and 10. We're under 13 minutes to play. Once again out of the shotgun with 4 men out of the pass pattern, make it 5 as they have Owens going in motion out of the backfield. The flip out to Thornton. He makes the catch. He's into Crusader territory down the near sideline inside the 40. We're out of bounds at the 35-yard line, and Derek McBride went diving out of bounds, landed under one of the benches on the far side, tries to get up, and fell back down, and now he heads back out of the field. So McBride made the stop and ran Thornton out of bounds. First down and 10 for Baker.
It's a situation all day long. It's giving the Crusaders a little bit of trouble when they send 5 people into the pass. That gives the Crusaders a little bit of trouble. They dodged some bullets earlier with it. That time they come up to 23-yard gain.
First down and 10 from the 35. Tarango to throw. He's looking long. He's got a man out there. He overthrows his intended receiver, Jeff Sims, at the goal line. Incomplete. And Sims had a step on Anthony Dixon. Second down and 10, 12:45 to go in the football game. Evangel leading it 16-7.
And now you're seeing it, Baker really trying to go long just about on every play in these last few situations, just trying to stretch the defense out a little bit, get people in one-on-one situation, let their athletes go to work.
This time, Tim Herbst is one of the receivers that goes wide left to the wide side of the field. The snap out of the shotgun is low. Tarango back near midfield, and he's going down at the 48-yard line. So the Crusader defense comes up with a big play as Harvey Berrien leads the charge and gets in there along with Jay Elwood. They will give him progress to the 47. And it's going to be third down and long. They need to get to the 25-yard line for a first down. So you're looking at 3rd and 23.
That's what happens when you send 4 or 5 guys into the pattern, though. You leave no one back there to protect Tarango. That time the Crusaders beat him to the punch and get to Tarango before he can get the ball away, so it ends up at a big loss for Baker.
12 minutes to go out of the shotgun. We had 3 men out of the pass pattern. Now they'll send a man in motion. That is Thad Owens. They have 4 men out of the route. They flipped to Owens at the 35-yard line. He's going to be stopped short of the first down at the 31. It'll bring up 4th down and 6, but you might figure that it could put them back in field goal range, or at this point they could say, hey, we're down, we're in the 4th quarter, it's 4-down territory.
Although they are in 2-score position, as far as score goes, 16-7, so they're going to have to get a field goal sometime or 2 touchdowns, so a field goal doesn't necessarily hurt them.
But it may be far enough back that it would be a long enough kick that they figure that their best bet is to go for it.
Yeah, and this situation be a 48-yard try. They're going to go for it.
So a big 4th down play for the Crusaders defensively. 4th down and 6 from the 31. Owens goes in motion. 3 men to the wide side of the field. Tarango throws it out the ball. Along the far sideline. With 11:02 to play, the Crusaders get it back on down, leading 16-7.
And Clayton read that one like Charlotte's Web. He knew that one was coming right from the get-go. Knocked the ball away. And that's the second time that Baker's come up short on 4th down.
So Evangel will have the football with 11:02 to play. Evangel's defense this year against opponents' 4th down conversions, 2 out of 6, actually 2 out of 7 now. And of course, the offense 0 for 2 today in 4th down conversions against Evangel. Honore the lone setback as Evangel puts 3 men out of the pass pattern. Long count for Black. He'll turn and give to Honore. Straight ahead, Honore off tackle. Out to the 35-yard line. Maybe a little bit short of the 35. Give him a gain of 4, 2nd down and 6. And more importantly, the clock runs. Now is a big time for the Crusaders to be able to run the football. They've shown some signs earlier of being able to do that today. Now would be a nice time to put together a nice long drive.
Although I would think it'd be a little too early to get too conservative. I'd like to see him put it up on just every now and again to keep him honest.
Black out of the shotgun. The handoff to Marlon Coley. Coley's going to try to get outside. Breaks a tackle. Breaks another. And finally is stopped for a 2-yard loss. There to make the hit for Baker is one of their defensive linemen. Tim Miller ends up making the stop. We say for a loss of only 2. The way that play started out, he could have lost 10 yards with no problem had he not gotten away from that first man.
And then he also gets away from the second man, which allows him to get closer to the line of scrimmage. And now the Crusaders are forced to call timeout.
9:41 to play. It's 3rd down and 8 when we return. It's 16-7. The Crusaders lead it back in 60 seconds.